How's it going, everybody? We got a couple things going on in Marvel Strike Force today. First things first, though. Remember that video I made? Trash talking all the top 8 ELO alliances in Zone 1? How they're garbage and they're never going to beat the Dorks? Looks like they believed me because they all ran scared. We ended up getting a shell in our first Diamond War because, for sure, this is the reason an entire alliance broke up. They just couldn't handle the pressure of facing off against the Dorks. I believe that is what happened. Now, other people might tell you there's other things going on. I just don't believe. Just don't believe them. There are some cool things going on with Marvel Strike Force right now I do want to shine a light on. We have a really good calendar in the works right now where we're going to be getting some terrible character shards, but a good amount of gold, good amount of trading materials, some free cores, 200,000 intel, and also 10 Mystic Geodes and 10 skill microdots. I don't like it when they mix and match these, but it is what it is. That's one of the good things going on Marvel Strike Force right now. Let's talk about one of the trash things going on with Marvel Strike Force right now. And that is going to be the Red Phoenix event. This event is trash because you're only getting 40 of these Red Phoenix rings. So there are other good stuff on these nodes. Like you're going to be getting ability orbs this way. There's trading orbs, gold orbs. So there's reason in and of itself to farm these just for the resource aspect of things, right? But the shard count is pretty bad. You're looking at maybe getting 1 orb a day by using your 50 cores. I don't know the exact amount. It's a little bit more than 1 orb a day. But the orbs, if we were getting 2 or 3 orbs a day, it would be more in line with like what the Captain Britain, one of the more recent ones was. People have gotten as low as 3 shards on one of these orbs. I've been lucky. I got a 7 drop once and I got an 8 drop recently in a video that I'm re-recording right now. And that's like good luck. That's good luck. This doesn't feel great. Now, Omega Red Phoenix Force is fortunate enough to be a 45 shard unlock. So if you don't have him unlocked, you will get him unlocked just by using 50 cores on it if you want for the resources. And then on the free to play side of the pass, I believe there's like 35, either 35 or 40 of his shards here. Either way, you'll get him unlocked if you don't have him unlocked yet. The problem is for people that want to get him a star increased, it's a little tough. It's kind of like you need to buy the premium pass and then do the 50 cores and still not get like the world's worst luck. And if you do that, you can go from 4 to 5 stars, which is cool. Omega Red Phoenix Force is not Zombie Scarlet Witch. He is not Captain Britain. He really wants those stats. Without those stats, I actually think he's the weakest epic character that we have as far as just his influence on the game. Yeah, I don't like it. And unlike Zombie Scarlet Witch, who when they brought her back for her second appearance, they had these daisy chain offers for the orbs, the pity orbs that you just kind of saw for Omega Red Phoenix Force. They were way better. And the offers were way, 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 way cheaper. In fact, I actually dropped $100 on Omega Red for 250 shards to get him up to 5 and about the pass, as you saw. So I spent money, and I wasn't supposed to spend any more money on the game after getting Phoenix, but I really like Crucible. This is something that I get to write off as a tax write-off. I think he's too expensive. I think he's just far too expensive on the 6-month return. I'm glad people get to unlock him. I think that they should have budgeted 180 shards for everybody. So like if you were just unlocking him for the first time, free to play, you can get 180 shards because he's kind of usable. He is usable at 4 stars. Below 4 stars, I start getting a little bit worried, even though mechanically he is a very, very sound character in Crucible. Just, stopping safeguard, stopping trauma, the revive he can get with Phoenix, the percentage damage. Like, he's definitely a very, very powerful character. He doesn't need to be maxed out, but I didn't like the price point that they put on this, I guess because I was planning to buy it. And we don't know when those passives are going to be coming around, and we don't know if those passives are going to find their way into the Intel store the same way like Shadow King passive found it in here. I don't think it will. If they do appear in the Intel store, I think it'll be after this first chapter, this Quasar chapter, when we go on to whatever the next legendary character is. I imagine that's when we would see Phoenix Force Awakened abilities go into the Intel store. And I want to talk about the Intel store here. So, we have to core a lot if you want any sort of meaningful Omega Red Phoenix Force shards. And then they just added Helverine in here. There's obviously the Thunderbolts in here. There's Gear 20 for Professor X in here. We should have a conversation about resources as far as Intel and cores go right now. Because we did just have a data mine on the negative zone about a week ago. And that data mine suggested that the next couple of nodes for the negative zone are going to be for the arena team. And why that's important is because it would give us an idea of what the next team is going to be, an arena team. And arena teams are so good in all game modes. Think about Secret Defenders, think about Annihilators, think about Black Order, Infinity Watch, Darkhold. Oh my god, Darkhold was crazy good, right? So the idea is that the next couple nodes, the negative zone, are going to have the arena abilities put on, which would heavily suggest an arena team. I'm a little bit hesitant to be using my intel or cores on these characters at all right now. I really want to do Helverine from the intel store. I want to get him maxed out because I really like Crucible. Same reason why I just spent money on Omega Red. Same reason I want to use cores on the Omega Red event, even though it's a terrible use of your cores because the sharp return is nowhere near good. But I'm getting the feeling there's going to be an arena team based on that data mine. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat to that, is that I believe in the game files, Blitz was originally described as arena. So it could just be placeholder text. There could be a different team. What could that other team be? Well, we're very certain the next team is either going to be the Hellfire Club or the Fantastic Four team. Fantastic Four team has a movie coming out in a recent strike spot, whether 3 or 4 months ago. The general manager basically said, like, Johnny Storm's getting a rework. He said, which Fantastic Four member hasn't got a rework yet, right? And that's why a lot of people built up their Johnny Storm already. We also had the Hellfire Club fan vote not too long ago. That kind of lines up with the same time frame where after we do the vote, a certain amount of months pass, and boom, there's the team. So we're kind of thinking it's either going to be a mutant team, the Hellfire Club, or a bio team, a Fantastic Four-centric club team. And so as far as using your intel goes, you might want to, like, I'm buying Mystic Gear. I'm going hard on the Occurs team, right? You might want to save your intel and see if you need to, like, slam into the mutant gear or slam into the bio gear, because if it is an arena team and they're going to judge how much cores you're going to get in the future, you may want to wait on that. Also, do note that these characters from the patch are entering the store before that patch ends. Look at Helverine. So if the next team is an arena team, it's going to fall under the Quasar chapter, and those character shards will be buyable with intel. So that's another reason why you might want to save your intel. If this is an arena team, you want to go hard on those character shards, right? And the same thing with cores. Obviously, characters, we have the ability to buy them with cores through their orbs. So it maybe I'm not going to buy Satana anymore with cores. Maybe I'm just, the 4-piece Occurs team is doing okay on offense. They're never going to work on defense, even with Satana. It's just not going to work. They're doing okay on offense already. I might not use my cores on Satana anymore. I'm definitely not going to buy Satana with money. Because if there is an arena team, that's where I want to put some of my resources. I want to make sure I have enough cores to get those characters that come out, especially whichever one is going to be the most important. Because you could bet that if there is an arena team coming out, it's not going to be like Immortal X-Men where you need all 5 characters. There's no world where they try and kick Professor X out of the arena. People would lose their goddamn minds, right? So I wanted to share that with you. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I want to start saving my cores completely. I'm saving my intel completely now. I don't think I'll be buying Helverine until after the next team is announced and I can see what's coming down the pipeline. Because if it's just a spotlight team, screw that. I mean, all steamboat ahead. Let's go. Let's get as much Helverine as we can. Let's get as much Omega Red as we can. But I think right now it might be advisable to save on to some of those resources. Anyway, for the remainder of this video, I want to go check out the Danger Room stream that Twitch and Max, one of the developers of Danger Room, are putting on right now. So let's go check that out. All right, guys, so I did sit through that MSF strike spot stream for Danger Room where Pathfinder and Max were running through the new Danger Room, showing us all kinds of stuff and having a pretty frank conversation about stuff that they've included, stuff that they would want to include, taking suggestions. It was a really good time, and I would actually suggest you check it out. But it was an hour long, so I took some cliff notes and I wanted to share that with you so it's a little bit more digestible because it would get lost in the sauce if I just slapped on the hour reaction there. So let's talk about it. MSF Danger Room stream reveals massive token gains. So not only do we get tokens from the elite missions now, but we also get them for the regular missions, and they give a lot more than I thought. So your beginning adventures in Danger Room, they're going to give you buffs like almost immediately. Your second run of Danger Room, you're probably going to have a bunch of packs to turn on. That's going to make all future runs easier, and it should kind of be a smoother transition into that like well, now I have 4,000 danger tokens and I have all the cool stuff equipped and I'm just killing everything in one shot. So it should be a smoother transition into that. We were told the first 5 nodes were heavily nerfed, and it looked like it for sure. He was only doing difficulty 8 on the stream, but the opening characters were like 140,000 power. So they were getting absolutely obliterated. And I think that'll be the case for most people who want to use their own characters on difficulty 8 as well. They added about 30 combat mods, and they were some banger of mods. They had one where Black Panther Boon, so whenever a character got a kill, that character would get 100% speed bar. They had Kang Boon, so your entire team got 5% speed bar on spawn, but you also all spawned with speed up. They had another one, which something about momentum, where whenever you did a basic attack, you'd get 50% increased damage up to 500, and then if you use a different ability, that would go away. In Pathfinder's final run, he had all 3 of those. And he was running a Curse, which Curse, by the way, looks like they're going to be an amazing team with the right mods on. And they might be the best rental team after you farmed up enough of the danger tokens, because so many of the boons kind of address all their weaknesses. And then they'll let all their strengths shine. Anyway, we'll make videos on that for sure, right? So his Juggernaut had those 3 boons, would do a basic, get 50% increased damage, get 100% speed bar because he got a kill, and he would just keep going. I think on the boss node, he literally hit auto basic and killed everything. Or he was just doing basics and killed everything. And that final boss node, there's a new one. So we're going to be able to show that. I got a picture of that to share with you today. Pretty cool. It looked like a lot of fun. It looks like this danger room is going to be a lot more streamlined than the other one. Things are going to happen faster. They're not going to have as many sort of roadblocks you need to start over. So it's not going to be as much wasted time, which will be interesting to see how that affects the leaderboards, because there's going to be a real leaderboard this time. The 10th node is apparently always a store. So the exact words were, 10th node is random, but the same type. So I think it's always the type is the store, but it's random which characters are in there. It's random which boons are in there, which mods are in there, right? So take that. I think that's what was meant to be said there. And difficulty 10 is beatable. I should have said with rental characters. So difficulty 10 is confirmed beatable with just rental characters. Which I mean, I did that on a 4-day-old account, so it just makes sense that it is. But because we don't have infinite rental tokens this time, you're definitely going to want to make sure you farm up a lot of Danger Room tokens. So if you can only do like difficulty 5, difficulty 6, that doesn't mean you can't get that final difficulty 10 milestone if you want to put in the effort. Farm up a bunch of those Danger Room tokens, which seems like it's going to be a lot easier, and then do a difficulty 10 run only using rental characters. You get 2 chances per day. I'm going to make sure I do the runs with rental characters, figure out how much Danger Room tokens we need, share the right kind of build with you, the best team, all that kind of stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. This is, of course, going to be starting tomorrow, guys. But I got some pictures for you. So this is the amount of Danger Room tokens that he got from a regular mission on difficulty 8. So 7 Danger Room tokens on a regular mission. He got 35 for elite missions. So like every run, he was walking away with hundreds of Danger Room tokens. But that doesn't mean that the price is going to be the same as it used to be. So Danger Room costs of the packs now, it looks like it was times 5, which we are still going to be earning more than times 5 Danger Room tokens. So you should still reach these faster. Numbers are inflated, which always scares people, but you're going to be earning these Danger Room tokens faster than you did before. And that kind of outpaced the conversion rate that they used on these packs. So it should be an overall good change as far as, you know, getting through the mode quickly if that's what you want to do. This was the boss node. So we had 2 Mephistos, a Gore, some Symbiotes, a Rocket Raccoon, because I don't know why, and an Odin. So pretty curious there. I think it is still a static boss. I actually missed this part of the stream, but got filled in later, and I recorded it. It looked very easy, because he had a really, really good build going on, which I thought was pretty interesting. All right. MSF, Danger Room, Stream Potentials. These are things that the community kind of floated to Max the Developer and Pathfinder as they were going that they seem to be really responsive to. So somebody asked for a community mod list. Now this is a double-edged sword, right? Because if you put a community mod list out there, people will just kind of see which ones they want to go for. And it kind of takes the surprise away out of some of the more crazy ones, like the Duck Groot one we had in the last one. Or the Summers Brothers, or the Mysteria. Like, there's some of them that they're supposed to be like, oh, this looks really cool, I want to try this out. Where it's, you're not trying to plan for it, you're just kind of, you're flowing with the mode as you go. And that's something that Max the Developers seem to be like, okay, it makes sense to give like the very obvious, okay, like this is the majority of the mods for the game mode. But you know, the fun ones, the hidden ones that only really get unlocked if you say you take Yelena with you, or you take Ghost Rider with you, those like hidden ones, maybe we'll keep those ones hidden so you can find that, and that'll be fun when you find that out. And I actually think that is a pretty good compromise there. I would love to have a list of the mods. It would make just making videos so much easier and probably more well presented, because it'll be like different kind of graphics and stuff like that. So I hope that we do get this. I like the half measure. Makes sense for me. It was also brought up that maybe they could do fan votes for Danger Room characters in the future. So we have Yelena, Red Guardian, and is there another one added for the Thunderbolts? It might just be those two. But like Winter Soldier's not there. So maybe they would do a vote, and we could be like, okay, let's put Winter Soldier in there, and Red Guardian, Yelena, we pick, and of course Yelena wouldn't get picked, and I'd be super sad about it again. But that sort of community engagement was floated, and they seemed very responsive to that as well. So I think that we could probably expect that in the future. Though the way they normally incentivize voting is by giving us cores and energy, which is like, it's a big resource throughout the whole community at that point. So I wonder if it would be like a pro bono sort of voting. Let's continue on. The Danger Room future. Okay, 3 Danger Rooms are coming in July, which is really cool, but 2 of them are mini Danger Rooms. So they're going to be good weekend Danger Rooms where they're going to be X-Men themed. The first one is on July 4th. So we're actually going to be getting this Danger Room that starts now. I think it runs for a week. It'll be like a week break, and there'll be another Danger Room. But it's only going to run for 3 days over the weekend. It's going to be X-Men themed. And then they showed the milestone, which was pretty interesting. So Sunspot Diamonds were in the 9th milestone, which doesn't mean rework. We only have one example where it was Taskmaster in the last Danger Room in that final milestone for the 3 diamonds, right? And Taskmaster had already gotten his rework by then. Could this spell a rework for Sunspot? I don't know. I kind of hope so. I really like Sunspot as a character. Giving offense up on spawn to X-Men characters is amazing. And being able to pair him with some of the really strong X-Men characters that we have in the game, like Storm, like Jean, when say I'm trying to tackle on a Professor X, would be great. And if Sunspot had extra damage just to lean into on top of that, ooh, that'd be beautiful. So I got a couple of pictures of that stuff as well. So here we got the frames that are going to be for the leaderboard. It looks like there's going to be another global leaderboard with these XLs. I don't know what else they would be used for. And guys, we got to push for those bonus milestones. Push for those bonus milestones, and maybe we're going to see who the next rework team is going to be, because that's what they did with the Accursed, right? So that'd be great. The next rework team could be the Arena team, like we were talking about earlier. That'd be fantastic. And then finally, here were the milestone awards. So we're going to be getting 12 Armory 20 orbs, which is sort of the big reward, I would say. The Nightcrawler anniversary costume is what I assume that is. And then there you see the 3 Diamond Sunspot, which leads to my conspiracy theory that we're going to be getting Sunspot rework, which probably not true. Maybe they're only doing that because we're going to be getting the X-Men themed Danger Rooms in the future. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know what team Sunspot would fit in on. I just know he's a really cool character. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. There's your little breakdown of that stream. It was great. You should go check it out if you just want to sit around, listen to them, and watch the Accursed kick ass. The Accursed kicked a lot of ass in that video. All right, guys. Take care. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.